Welcome to today's Explainer. I want you to prepare yourself a bit, because today we're exploring an absolute psychological nightmare that is hidden right inside the laws of physics. We usually think of physics as just cold hard math, right? Equations on a chalkboard. But sometimes those equations reveal realities so deeply unsettling that they honestly blur the line between science and cosmic horror. Today, we're completely stripping away the fun sci-fi fantasies to look at the chilling, atmospheric dread of our universe's most unbreakable rule.
All right, let's just dive right into this. I want you to picture stepping into a spaceship, leaving Earth for what feels like a perfectly routine 5-year journey out into deep space. You settle in, you eat your meals, you get some sleep, maybe read some books to pass the time. To you, inside that cabin, time feels perfectly 100% normal. The seconds tick by exactly as they always have. You spend 5 years exploring, you age just 5 years, and then you turn your ship around and head back home.
But here is the jarring, smash-cut realization. When you arrive back on Earth and pop open that hatch, you aren't greeted by your family or the friends you left behind. Everyone you have ever known, loved, or even spoken to is dead. And actually, not just recently dead, they've been buried for centuries. The entire civilization you left behind is completely unrecognizable. Your home, your culture, your specific era, it is all just gone.
And this perfectly illustrates the massive divide between what we see on a movie screen and what actually governs the universe we live in. In pop culture, time travel is this thrilling, fun adventure. We've got DeLoreans leaving trails of fire, magical blue police boxes, characters jumping back and forth to fix their mistakes. But according to the actual hard laws of physics, time travel is a one-way psychological prison. It's a fundamental cosmic law dictating that the faster you explore the universe, the more it strips away your humanity, basically transforming your journey into total, inescapable isolation.
Section 1. The Theft of the Present. Special Relativity. So this is the first way the universe isolates us, and it all comes down to speed. Back in 1905, Albert Einstein completely shattered the illusion that there is a synchronized, universal now for everyone. The absolutely crucial thing to understand here is that time is a flexible fabric. The universe basically operates on this strict cosmic budget. You can move through space or you can move through time, but you cannot do both at maximum capacity. It is literally a zero-sum game. The faster you force yourself to move through space, the slower you are forced to move through time.
The math behind this reality is genuinely horrifying. Let's say you take a journey traveling at 99.9% the speed of light. As the astronaut, you perceive a 10-year trip, but Earth experiences 223 years. The terrifying part is that this isn't some biological sci-fi trick. Your cells aren't literally freezing in a block of ice. Your watch ticks totally normally. Your heart beats at a normal pace, but relative to the rest of the universe, you are moving in excruciating slow motion.
I think the best way to frame it is like this. You have weaponized physics to abandon your own life. When you travel like this, you haven't just traveled through space. You have completely decoupled yourself from your own era. Every single second you spend moving at that speed is quite literally a second stolen from the people waiting for you back home. You are trading their lifespans for your velocity.
Section 2. The Tragedy of the Event Horizon. General Relativity.
Because speed isn't the only way the universe breaks time. Mass warps space-time too, and nothing warps it more violently than a black hole. Extreme gravity becomes a literal temporal trap. To really wrap our heads around this, let's imagine a story about two astronauts exploring a supermassive black hole. We'll call them Sarah and David. David is going to stay up in the main ship at a safe distance. Meanwhile, Sarah takes a small pod down toward the event horizon, the absolute point of no return.
This brilliantly illustrates the terrifying decoupling of reality that happens at the event horizon. From David's perspective up on the ship, as Sarah descends into that crushing gravity, he watches her pod literally slow down to a crawl. Her movements just freeze. To David, she becomes this stationary ghost frozen in time at the edge of the abyss, slowly fading into a deep red hue for eternity. He could watch her frozen body for the rest of his natural life. But from Sarah's perspective inside the pod, time feels normal. She crosses the horizon in mere seconds. But as she looks out the back window, the stars are frantically spinning and flashing like strobe lights.
Because gravity has stretched her timeline to near infinity relative to the outside universe, Sarah experiences something truly unimaginable. As she looks out from her pod, she's watching the entire future of the cosmos flash before her eyes in a matter of moments.
She witnesses the death of stars, the collision of galaxies, and the literal end of time itself. She sees the universe die right before she's crushed into nothingness. Now, I know it's super easy to think of this cosmic dread as something strictly reserved for deep space, black holes, and sci-fi astronauts, but let's bring this right back down to Earth. Because this eerie desynchronization isn't just a theory, it is happening to you right now as you sit there watching this explainer.
Section 3, Ghosts of Everyday Reality, the Trap Down on Earth.
See, this is an inescapable microscopic reality of time dilation playing out on our own bodies. Because gravity is stronger the closer you get to the center of the Earth, time moves slightly slower at ground level than it does at a higher altitude, which leads to a deeply, deeply weird truth. Your feet are actually experiencing a slightly different reality than your head. Time is literally moving at a different rate across your own body.
And this creates unseen time travelers all around us. Think about people living at high altitudes in places like Denver, or pilots flying commercial jets, and most famously, astronauts on the International Space Station. An astronaut living on the ISS for 6 months will return to Earth having aged a tiny, tiny fraction of a second less than the rest of us. They have literally traveled into our future, even if it's only by a few milliseconds.
Which brings us to this profoundly unsettling realization. We are all ghosts to one another, drifting through slightly different rates of time. The universe fundamentally refuses to let humanity share a single objective reality. Every flight you board, every mountain you climb, every single step you take subtly desynchronizes you from the person standing right next to you.
Section 4. The Cosmic Exile, Humanity's Ultimate Fate.
When we look toward the future of humanity, we really have to reckon with the heavy psychological tax that physics is going to demand from us. If humanity wants to reach distant stars, we must embrace high speeds. We just have no choice. But doing so means that a completely routine mission to a nearby star system like Alpha Centauri comes with a devastating cost. It creates a sort of cosmic quarantine. A crew could launch, spend what feels to them like a few years working, and return to Earth only to find that their own children are now biologically older than they are. The languages they spoke will have completely evolved. The nations they swore allegiance to might have totally dissolved.
Which leaves us wrestling with a very heavy question. Is leaving the boundaries of our cradle actually worth the ultimate price? The universe has these seemingly built-in speed bumps and gravitational traps. It's almost as if the cosmos was intentionally designed to ensure that if you attempt to break out of your solar system, you will be forced to pay for that ambition with everything and everyone you have ever known.
I want to leave you with this final, lingering thought. The universe doesn't just separate us by distance. It separates us by history. When we look up at the night sky, we aren't just looking at places we can't easily reach. We are looking at futures we can never share. It's a dark, beautifully tragic, and completely terrifying reality. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, keep looking up, even if the physics looking back down at you are a little scary.